passage that comes not according to me, not according to Sam, according to Muhammad, a passage that comes from the devil. How do you deal with that? You're trusting a man with your salvation, Muslims, who could not tell the difference between a revelation from God and a revelation from the devil, who had to change his revelations and blame the devil for promoting polytheism. This is just wild, wild stuff. That's our number 2 reason. Our number 1 reason for rejecting Muhammad as a prophet, our top reason that Muhammad is not a prophet, is what we would call the Islamic dilemma. Here again, this is going to sound like it's something that would only apply to Christians if you believe in the Bible, but an atheist, a Buddhist, a Hindu, anyone could use this argument just as effectively, because the bottom line is Muhammad affirmed not only the inspiration of the Torah and the Gospel, he also affirmed the preservation and authority of the Torah and the Gospel. And the problem is the Torah and the Gospel completely contradict Muhammad's teaching. So Muhammad affirmed revelations that contradict Islam, and that's going to put Muslims in a dilemma. How's this work, Sam?
Well, let me look at the verses themselves. We talk about the Quran confirming the previous scriptures, even exhorting Christians and Jews to judge by their previous scriptures, and then also saying that the words of God are incorruptible. Let's look at chapter 3, verse 3 of the Quran. It says, He has revealed to you, chapter 3, verse 3 of the Quran, He has revealed to you, speaking to Muhammad, the book with truth, confirming that which is between his hands, literal translation, that which is between his hands. That's an Arabic idiom meaning that. You see that what's between David's hands? That means he has access to whatever it is. Well, that's what it's referring to. Whatever scriptures Muhammad had access to at that time, he comes to confirm them, to verify them. And then it says what those scriptures were. He revealed the Torah and the Gospel before time. So did you catch that, David? The Torah and the Gospel are the revelations that were between the hands of Muhammad, meaning he had access to the very Torah and the Gospel that Allah had set down, and Muhammad had access to, and confirmed that Torah and that Gospel in his lifetime to be the revelations of God. Historically speaking, did the Jews and Christians have a Torah and a Gospel that was different from what you have today in your Bible?
No, nowhere.
How do we know that? Because of the manuscript evidence, right? So we can actually point to manuscripts of the Bible written before, during, and after the
Dead Sea
time of Muhammad,
Scrolls being one of them,
proving beyond any reasonable doubt that whatever Torah he had access to has to be identical to what you read in the Old Testament. Whatever gospel he had access to has to be identical to what you have today, because the Jews and Christians had no other Torah or gospel in their possession except what you possess today, right? To further confirm that point, 6:115. Notice what the Quran says. Chapter 6, verse 115. The word of thy Lord doth find its fulfillment in truth and in justice. Your Lord's word will be fulfilled in truth and justice. None can change his words, not just his word singular. All of his words are incorruptible, unchangeable. You ask a Muslim, is the Torah the word of Allah? Yes. The Gospel the word of Allah? Yes. The Psalms, the Zabur the word of Allah? Yes. Well, this passage says none of his words, not just his word singular, so they can't say it's just referring to that particular word, none of his words can be changed. So if the Torah, the Psalms, and the Gospel are the words of Allah, and the words of Allah cannot be changed, then it's a matter of logic, point of logic, to say that these books are incorruptible. Well, if these books are incorruptible, that means they must exist today. And again, the only Torah, the only Psalms, the only Gospel that the Christians and Jews have always had in their possession is the Bible that we read today. Now, why would that put Muhammad and Muslims in a dilemma?
Because the Bible we have today completely contradicts the Quran.
In what way? How does it contradict?
In all kinds of ways.
well, so much that Muslims have to believe that the Bible is corrupted. But you want to know something? Muslims have to believe in the Bible, the before scriptures, because Quran 146, 150, 151, 152, 2, 285, and 40, 70 through 72 tell Muslims they have to believe in all the books of Allah or be far astray. And all that, but it says they can't make any distinction between all those books. That means they got to believe the Bible. They can't make a distinction between it and the Quran. Yeah. So, and then there's also Quran 1094 that tells Muslims to come to me for my reading the before scriptures, which would be the Bible. If they are in doubt about the Quran, it says go to me. Yeah, by using Muhammad as an example. So, I'll continue here.
The gospel, the central message of the gospel, is that Jesus died on the cross for sins,